Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back to the FAQ podcast. It's been some time, and for those that's been waiting for us for the next episode, shukran so much, and shukran for the support over the last few months. It's been crazy. We're gonna have an update of exactly what's been happening with this team, but I would like to just start by saying, of course, shukran for those that have been asking for the next episode, and welcome back. We are here with the team, the original team, and our team going forward.
The
𝐷𝐞𝐻𝐸
OGs.
Colby, event planner and director of the Aspire Promotions, and 𝐸MTiaz life coach and psychologist in his profession. How's it, guys? How are we doing? How are we doing?
How are we doing? Very excited to be here.
We are excited, eh?
It's first time after a while.
It's been almost months,
First time after a while.
months.
Yeah.
But overall, I think we thank Almighty for granting
Alhamdulillah,
us to be
alhamdulillah.
here again.
Absolutely.
Through all the commitments that we had, we're
Yeah.
gonna have it in the discussions shortly.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely, definitely.
We,
We have to
we
give.
ever been for the past
Yeah.
few months.
How are you doing, 𝐸MTiaz?
I'm doing very well. I'm just still thinking about that breakfast, man.
Yeah.
I still think about that
No,
breakfast.
it's a Cape Town culture. Whenever you come together, you must eat. Doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're working, you
So-
must eat.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. That's beautiful. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I'm doing very well.
Alhamdulillah.
And I think that it's always good to be with the brothers, man. Always good. You know?
Alhamdulillah.
As much as there is a certain level of hate, there is even more love, and that's beautiful.
But that's the way it should be, eh? That's the yin and yang. The yin and yang is important. So to the view,
Yeah, polarity.
So guys, viewers, the thing is, unfortunately, we couldn't make the videos for the last, I think, 2 months.
2 months,
Yeah, 2 months we haven't made. If you are not familiar with the projects with Aspire Promotions, with Halal Speed Dating, those that are following the Halal Speed Dating, you could have been seeing on Abdul Basid's social pages. We've been busy opening up a new venue, not necessarily new, but an existing legacy venue of the Country Manor, which is based in Skarkral. So, alhamdulillah, three of us with our partner, the Yasin Sali of the venue company. We took another venture since the venue company has a venue in Wynberg, Rosmead Avenue. We also took this project with the Country Manor. So it's just been very crazy starting a new business in South Africa. As you know, it's not easy at all. But alhamdulillah, we've been up and running for the last 2 months, and we found the time to make our way back to the podcast, which is supposed to be a staple of this organization, and hopefully it can be going forward. So again, shukran for your patience. There's been a lot of queries, what's happening, when are we starting the speed dating again, and when are we starting the podcast again. So this is inshallah our first effort towards that movement again. So just to recap on our last first episode of the podcast, we discussed the halal speed dating. It was a project started and initiated by Abdul Basit Colby that is action at the moment out in the Wynberg venue. And as I know Abdul Basit, some exciting news that alhamdulillah, after many queries, we are up and going again. We're ready for I don't know. I don't know if you can say round two. It's not round two. It's literally like round.
Probably around 200. After many programs that we had in Cape Town and Durban,
Yeah.
it's been a while since we had the program here in Cape Town.
Yeah.
I think our last program was in September,
Yeah.
and so we look forward to have our next program on the 27th,
27th of November. Okay,
which
cool.
is this
Oh,
coming Monday.
Yeah, and then at Wynberg, just the exact location, Wynberg. Yeah.
Wynberg Golf Range at the venue on Paul.
Yeah.
And obviously, for those who are familiar with the location,
Yeah.
for the past few months since we initiated and established the program Halal Speed Dating.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I know a lot of people inquired
Okay.
about, when we're going to do it again. And like you mentioned, we've been busy. Our hands were tied at the new
Yeah.
venue, getting things up and running.
Yeah.
So yes, we're excited to have the relaunch again in Cape Town. And yes, I know we had plans to go to Johannesburg and to Durban and to Port Elizabeth.
Yeah.
It was meant to be
And
this
that's
time
that's
now.
It's
weekend.
supposed to be actually
end
this
of
weekend now.
November.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Supposed to have been.
But I think it wasn't only that prevented It was more of there were a lot of other family things happening.
Yeah, I know.
know?
Yeah,
Yes,
thankfully
yes.
that's been.
Side, my
Yeah.
side, and then you with your big move and everything. So
Yeah, it's been crazy a lot.
additional to the
Yes.
opening, the rebirthing of this beautiful
Yeah.
location. So
So we had a lot of rebirth over the last 3 months. So alhamdulillah, I had my fourth
rebirth
baby.
and
Diaz had his fourth baby. Dubasi sadly only on his third.
Third is on the way.
but,
Third on the way, so that
but
was a challenge.
amazingly, the how it. I mean, it's not like we all got together last year and had a cup of coffee, saying, you know what, guys, let's let's have them all around the similar year born, But it happened so organically, And I think that what's so powerful about that is like how the scientists say, man, if you take a piece of flesh of someone's heart or organ, and then another flesh from somebody else, you put it together, and then they will sort of beat out of rhythm, but then if they're together long enough, they will start to beat in a rhythmic order system.
Jesus.
Right? So it's like the company that you keep
Definitely.
rubs off on you, and I mean, it's not only between the three of us, but as you know, it's a few others as well in other
Yeah.
circles. They also like, getting their third, their fourth, their first, their second,
Yeah.
child, and it's like amazing just because you are in that particular crowd.
Yeah.
I wanna
it
bring it
helps
to I mean the subject of today is again halal speed dating, but of course we're gonna expand a little bit on another subject. But what I like about what you said about the rhythmic. The like-mindedness. We speak a lot about this before, and if those viewers that's watching, like for example, like Jordan Peterson, besides these political views, but I mean, his past stuff. I know a lot of people threw away his books, but
Yeah,
anyway,
I'm interested to know what
Yeah,
people
no,
think
but
about, because I mean, how I
Nah, I
was
know,
over
yeah, you
Jordan
crazy,
Peterson.
go with Jordan, yeah.
I made my own mixed
motivational
recordings, and
recording,
with the soundtracks, and then his voice coming in. Like I have 3 hour things. I step in the office, I put it on, and now listen to him, and then just to see how his views not changed, but affects differently of what we. I mean, this whole Palestine thing
Yes,
happening,
yes, yes.
and the Israel thing happening, and it's like now it's almost like the world is picking sides between the two, and it's
Yeah.
like the people, like you following somebody for so long, every other value
Yeah.
that he had,
Yeah.
it was very in line and in order with what we hold in our faith.
100%.
Like if you're looking at like 5, 6, 7, 10 years, and the whole Muslim, and that's why he has such a huge Muslim following, right? And everything is in line. Like for example, how we consider, there's a male and there's a female, and there's certain things that you do not go over. There are certain lines you do not cross. You
Yeah.
do not make me conform. You said it once, Dakir,
Yeah.
that we cannot have a community intercept or the hijack, just because they deem the rainbow colors according to their agenda.
Yeah.
So now we have to
Forsake
abstain
that
from that.
whole-
So I can't
yeah.
buy my children things that has rainbows on. Whereby a rainbow has been something beautifully created by our creator. We tell our children, look there's the rainbow, and
Yeah.
that has been intercepted, and now we can't use it.
Yeah. So we need to take it back, definitely.
You know.
Definitely.
So I mean, so yeah. Anyway, you were saying about Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
It's just very still.
I know it's a soft
Yeah,
touch.
it's a soft spot, man.
It's
It's
a
like,
sensitive
Is your
topic.
mentor, you say?
Hey?
Is he one of your
One
mentors?
of the
Look, he
what he
was.
says. What
He was.
he says is you can even get I always make this example. My grandfather, he passed away now. Allah give him a place in Jannah.
I mean, for all of our
mean,
grandparents, inshallah.
Ibrahim Adams, and he always used to make this example. It was the crudest example, but like if you like in Afrikaans, my Afrikaans sucks, but if
Say it.
no, as 'n vark na jou kom met 'n goue ketting, skop jy die vark weg. No, you don't. It's how we know it's pigs are unclean with us, but you take the gold off and then you chase So what he's saying is sometimes in the worst possible
Okay,
ways,
okay, I see what you
message can
mean.
come to you, but you take the message, man.
I see what
And that's important. So even his past, we made Allah change their hearts, that they can
Yeah.
see the truth while they're
You
still
see, but
alive.
even with that, Dakir, it's like if you see somebody is in complete conflict with your value system, and
No, you must recognize it. You must recognize it and take action. But you can't. I wouldn't necessarily say that you just like forsake the the whole argument, especially if it's past, if it's
Mm.
things of. I would say now, of course, maybe
Going
stop
forward.
watching him now
Yeah.
and stop now. But from the past things that you learned and if it
Yeah.
was good values, hold on to the good values. Mufti Menk made that example about hadith also. If a hadith is weak, that there's a chain of narrations, etc. And if a hadith is weak, of course you need to acknowledge that it's weak and you need to make sure it's documented and so on
Yeah.
that it's a weak hadith.
Mm.
But the bottom line, if it is teaching you something of value, there's value in that, man. So anyway, off topic, but what I wanted, when I mentioned Jordan's name,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
triggered
Okay,
you,
go for it, go
and
for
it
it.
triggered you to this point.
Yeah, go for it, go for it.
What I wanted to speak about was that rhythmic discussion that you meant, man. And what I like about how when you explained it, it's how this organization of the halal speed dating and the process of how your program is being operated, as you explained in the last episodes of how the program operates and who you the verification system and the discussions and the live coaching and the coaching and the fact that this is 50% coaching, 50% dating, and which I, after amazing, like again I was an amazing pre-marriage class with Mullah Mu'adh Ali, that till today, after 11 almost 11 years of marriage, I still remember distinct things that he like he
Absolutely.
and what I think is amazing is that this what you have been started and what we've been in practicing with the speed dating programs is very much that. It's very much that. It's not a marriage class in the context that you're getting married and now you're going to class. It's a matter of prepping yourself for marriage, for the journey of marriage. Like you said, countless times in every dancer, the journey of marriage, man.
Journey of
And what I like, going back to the rhythmic, I know I'm taking some time, guys, but I just creating a context that we can work under here is that the rhythmic aspect, man. That when you have those people, and like you see, we have multiple people coming back. So we have some members that's been there every event. For every speed dating function you had, they've been there. So what? Besides them looking out for potential spouses, they're also building and fortifying a certain ideology around the discussion of marriage.
Interesting.
And that is what's amazing, because we talk about the rhythmic, because you're hearing the same thing over. We talk about this as Muslims, it's all about reminders. Reminders are good, beneficial for a believer.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important. Last point.
Yeah.
That's why it's important that we continue this and continue making sure it's at minimum a once a month program. What do you think about the alhamdulillah, I've seen over the last 2 months we had 2 organizations in South Africa that started also their version of the speed dating.
100%. I mean, I can only but be
Can we
happy.
maybe elaborate who that was? Can you remember? I remember
So-
seeing the post.
So I'm not going to disclose the
names, of
organization's
course.
names, but
What
what I would
areas?
say, I'm very happy to see that
Definitely, man.
it's enhancing
Definitely.
within our communities, and there are more programs available, for people to, especially like on a regular basis, seeing that the halal speed dating itself cannot run weekly because we're obviously busy with other projects as well.
Yes.
But so we try to do it monthly or every second month.
Okay.
And so within that gap, there's other programs that people can attend
That's
to,
amazing.
potentially over a weekend, potentially over a weeknight. So it's great to see that there's a lot of other programs happening as well. And I'm very sad at the same time to see why these people are not getting the flag as what we got the flag.
No,
when
but
we
you don't
started.
know that. You don't know that. You
What
don't
call
know
it,
that.
the early adopters, it's
Here we go,
it's the
the early
people that
adopters.
starts initially, man.
It's always
and,
them that
So
get
we
the
speak
flag.
especially the way that you consciously came into the conversation.
Yeah.
Halal speed dating.
Yeah, we spoke about that word.
It's like
We spoke about
it's
that
like
word.
you.
For those that didn't know, that word that Imtiaz just mentioned now is like could be like 98% of the reason why everybody challenged the whole thing.
Yeah.
Just that word.
But now,
Yeah.
now it's calm. Now everyone accepted it. Everyone, it's okay with it. And it's obviously the consistency where it eventually becomes a norm. And so you'll find other organizations doing something similar with a different title, but it's the same concept. It's the same ideas.
Based off that, now I want to say, like just to play devil's advocate, man. I want to say that it's important, man, that sometimes you have that kind of stance when something foreign is introduced, because
Definitely.
it speaks about why the Islamic civilization and our principles have been preserved for so long, man.
Beautiful shit. Yeah.
When something comes in that is foreign or alien to you, you don't know of it, man. It's like you need to question and cross-check and just make sure that this isn't a threat
Yeah.
to my deen and to my faith,
And
especially
to my
the
family.
rapidness
To my family.
and to my family. You know what I mean? Because I mean, we all have children, and it's like we are like so concerned about what's gonna happen. I mean, we are constantly warned by our parents. You know, yeah, what's happening here? I feel sorry for you and your children. You know the way things
That
are
is
going,
like,
and it's like it's
that's like a dogma nowadays.
so
in
I
there.
think that it's important that, you know, we as Islamic society, you know, are like in this castle and our walls are high up and it's guarded. But we do not reject whatever wants to come in. We welcome and we embrace, but we don't obviously allow that to take over what is happening in the system that is happening inside this particular
Definitely.
sanctity of what
I love
our
it.
faith presents, you know. So it was important. It was important initially when you have people having this, you know,
Strong
rigid
opinions,
and
yeah.
this firm stance, you know. But at the same time, that's the beauty of having nuances, man, and the different colors of our deen, that it has not come to, you know, what was that one thing that the one who started was saying, man, like if you take, for example, marrying 4 wives,
Sure.
for
Are
example.
we having this conversation?
No, it's
Are we having this conversation now?
it's the example, man. There
By
was-
the way, viewers, this was one of our discussions, but the others didn't agree with it. But okay, what?
it was an example, man. So, you know, Discover Islam at that time, they used to have a beautiful work, man. They invite all the churches in the area. And then they
Yeah.
have them come to the mosque.
I
And
see
then
that overseas,
and then
yeah.
they have like a, you know, and then sometimes pastors and preachers come and they challenge people, man. But one of the sheikhs at the time, I never must ever actually mention. I mean, it was a public space, so I can say it was Sheikh Philander. Was it Sheikh? What's
Zakaria.
Zakaria Philander, yeah. It was but a beautiful program. But then as this guy was challenging him, and he said, listen here, you have your program and then invite us and then you can display your
faith.
man. And then, but don't, you know, reject everything we're saying in this space, man. So then he answered a very beautiful question. He said that when Islam came, it did not come to tell you how many wives you were allowed to have. That's not the intent. It did not come to say these are all the people, these are the amount of females you can get married to.
Yeah.
It came to limit the amount that people were marrying.
That's yeah.
It's a completely different.
That's a different framework to work under.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's why the context is so important. In everything, you have to understand what was the context when the
Yes.
rule was given.
Absolutely. And I mean, you know, not to take this conversation like so far, and it seems like it's all over the place, but it's obviously alluding to one particular direction, right? But another thing that was said, right, is like in the same line, then they say, yeah, but you know, Prophet marrying Sayyidina Fatima at such a young age, whatever. It's
Sayyidina
like
Aisha. Aisha.
Sayyidina Aisha, maf. Yeah, Sayyidina Fatima's daughter. So Sayyidina Aisha radiallahu an, and it's like marrying Sayyidina Aisha at such a young age and all of that. But it's like the culture at that time was when you became of age, you were, and it's like the entire the culture. And that is why it was so relevant at the time to understand the context, like how Zakir is saying.
Yes.
Yeah, it's amazing.
But on that note, halal speed dating is only for singles, eh?
Yeah.
Just to
Oh,
make it
yeah.
clear.
Yeah.
Make it clear.
Just in case they feel we're promoting.
Yeah,
coming out.
no, you don't. Of course, that's part of the application that you know say exactly if you been married, even if you were divorcee and things like that. So we can promise, alhamdulillah, for all the applicants that when they walk in there, they'll be dealing with people that has no wives or no husbands at that
For
particular
now.
time.
For now.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
We like this is one of the discussions and a lot of inquiries that came from even scholars
Yeah.
encouraging and asking and inquiring about having a program for the second wives.
subhanallah.
And even
It's-
females as well.
If you think the
What
flag
do you mean having a program for the second one?
having a allowed dating
Allow speed dating program.
Specifically,
polygamy
For co-wives.
polygamy edition.
It will
That's
be interesting. And
interesting. It'll be
I don't think
threatening.
we'll get
I think it
flack
will be threatening. That's
it will be a threat. What do you think, the viewers? What do you think? Let us know in the comments. How do you feel about it?
just to like I think this should be the last point of the subject. But just to give again, go back to MTI's thing of context, I know a few I know people. I genuinely know people like close to me, family, colleagues, friends that older women that they come out of a lifetime of whatever their life. I mean, I'm 32, just turned 32 now of the weekend, and
Mabarook,
I
mashallah.
had to put
Yes,
I
Allah.
had
So
to
this is
put
the
that.
birthday podcast.
It's the birthday podcast.
Okay.
I have a
New
banner.
title.
There's a banner coming down here now. So
Mashallah.
I must say, like, it's based on the context, man. Seriously, like, speak to some woman that had a lifetime of of life ups and downs, and they will tell you now. I would be gladly be someone's second wife, and like, don't give me the hassle,
Yeah.
of putting pressure or him putting pressure on me. So
Mm.
it's always on context, man. So I always advise my wife, to just, of course, just tread lightly around that subject, because I know it's a very heated subject our communities around with our
Yeah,
women.
yeah.
But just tread lightly, because you never know the context, man. Because
What do you mean?
you don't know what that woman went through, man, to get to where she's at the point where she's. You mean you like this
Yeah.
is the. I hate making examples like this because it works both ways.
Mm.
Like, would you rather be married to an abusive single guy, like one husband single, or would you be a second wife to
Oh
a
my
loving
word!
guy? It's like
That's what they
you don't.
call the false dichotomy.
Like, yeah,
It's like
it's the worst.
yeah, it's like you're giving two options, but it's like
You
are,
already played the card.
yeah,
for-
absolutely. But look at how we're talking about this. I'm just picturing.
I don't know where we get on this
I-
discussion, guys.
You're the one that opened up.
I'm
this.
just thinking that Fatima, Salama, and Malika sitting and just watching us like talk about this stuff. It's like, check these guys,
Can we please cut this?
Crazy.
you know. But anyway,
Fuck,
I mean,
fuck.
it's
No,
yeah.
I know that I'll be alright and you will be dead. You. So look, going back to the speed dating and what we want, a big subject we want to talk about today is, of course, our youth in our communities that are looking for partners. We spoke about the fact that the program will be up and starting again next week Monday. That correct? The
Next week,
26th?
Monday, 27th, yes.
What time? What time?
Starting at 7 p.m.
7 p.m. the afternoon.
The evening.
The evening.
7 p.m., yeah.
The evening. Okay, cool. And it works up to about like what, 11, 10, 11 o'clock?
Normally 10 o'clock. However, when people come and
Is
they're
it?
finding, a potential spark, even though the lights goes off.
They make their own swap.
No, that's allowed. They still continue to have the discussions and they meet up with the Mahram's present and have a much more longer conversation. So I would say 10, 11 o'clock for the latest. But officially the program ends at about 8 o'clock. So
Yeah.
it's very informative discussion. In fact, this is something that actually I got an inquiry last week. I don't think I mentioned it to you.
Yeah.
So this guy he's obviously a regular at the program, and he says that he wanted to know about the age groups that obviously attend
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
females.
yeah. That's a big.
And obviously we have this program that we are running. It's like everyone meets everyone, different ages, different backgrounds, and it's more for networking. If it's younger, if it's much older, you get to learn about their experiences and so forth.
Yeah.
They're sharing their experience and their knowledge. So it's more of an informative program as
Oh,
well.
you expanding? Is that what you asked?
No, so he was asking, so he was saying the fact that he does not want to attend for the life coaching and for the
Yeah.
speech and for the speeches.
Yes, that happens a lot.
So he says, I'm not, I had enough of the life coaching and the speeches. I just want to meet people,
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, if that's the mindset, I mean, okay, I wouldn't know
Look,
where
I think
he is with his mindset at this stage, or his ambition and his goals. Because surely for the past few programs he attended, he must have learned from the informative sessions of the life coaching and the lectures from the scholars and the life coaches and so forth. So perhaps he feels that he is at that stage of knowing exactly what he wants and he's now just ready to meet people. But on the overall, like for those who haven't joined the program, who don't have an idea about the program, 50% of the program is informative. It's setting your mindset to understand that journey of marriage. And if you are not going to fully understand it with the knowledge that you're going to derive from the evening, then essentially you're going to be making decisions that's not going to be long-lasting and valuable decisions for your journey of marriage. You might be just getting married to someone because of a beauty and a background and a career and a profession, but then you yourself are not equipped
Yeah.
with the knowledge.
I think we
Yeah.
need to
What
expand in the subject.
what is your take on
No,
what he said now?
you know,
I'll be
like
very
I mean, it's not on the agenda, but I'm glad he opened it up, and I'm glad that that's why I wanted to know what else did he ask, man. Was that the question? Because I think now is there's no better time than now to explain to the viewers, a big motive, the motive behind the structure, man. And we spoke about this countless times, and just to reiterate it with you guys, and for those that didn't hear it the first time, please understand, like this program, and that's where the speed dating is messing up a lot of our our ulama and stuff that's getting freaked out about the program because they think it's just a come in, I talk, I chat up everybody, and I walk out, and I take numbers and I go. Like I mentioned by the beginning, I regard this as a pre instead of like a marriage, a pre-marriage class. It's like pre-marriage class. So it's before the decision to get married, a class for that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm also eager for those ulama and members in our community that are involved very much in the spaces of marriage and the spaces of counseling, in the spaces of partnership, for them to come forward and meet with us and let's work together, because like Imtiaz ranted off in episode 2 of the last one of how important it is that we understand that a lot of our societal and our civic problems that we have in our communities, it's because it comes from the house. So what we're saying is, I mean, it even comes from before that, but how you raised, from the time how you raise your children, that is what type of people they turn out to be. So this is very much, and that's why the coaching is so important in this program, because it's giving us the context of understanding that your life is beyond just that attraction and that idea of I'm in in the wedding industry with the functions and so on, and people's excited when they know she's marrying a doctor or he's marrying someone from overseas, and none of that is of any value. That person doesn't have value themselves. So I think that what I'm amazed by this program is that
Yeah.
we're talking about the subject of the of value of
Say that
character.
again. Say that again. What you said now. You said.
Remind it.
Huh?
Remind what I said. I'm just
No,
right
man,
there,
you
yeah.
said something. You said just rewind till the point where you said you get married you're gonna marry a doctor. You get married
Yeah.
this, and then you carry on from
Yeah,
there.
you like what did I say?
They're excited for that journey.
They're excited, no, but not
of
for the
profession.
journey. It's not, the profession, but
Yeah.
it's more about, well, it's like the idea of what it can be. But whereas what we're saying is, you mentioned by the beginning
I
that,
mean,
we building.
Sorry.
You trying to get my words back, Imtiaz.
Yeah,
I lost it.
No, I actually,
lost it, my guy.
I actually said like a very a slang. I used to slangize that fine for the
Yeah,
podcast.
go for it, of
I
course.
said like nine, man. I don't think professionally ever approved it. But listen, you said something about value, man.
Yes,
you mentioned that word.
It's not
You
the
s-
value of course, like the
you
the
said
value
that-
of where the person come from, but the value of them.
Yes,
Yes,
that was the thing that you said.
Yeah,
Now for me, that's like that's the word.
the word value. You see it on the trucks they drive on the road. Eh?
My question, like you were sort of coming close to the story of addressing what he said, man. No? In terms of the response for this particular individual, no. So ultimately, like if this person messaged you that, what would your direct response be?
No, that,
If
again,
somebody that said, listen here, I only want to come for the
for the dating.
for meeting people.
meeting.
I don't want to.
You see, we can't.
What would your immediate response be?
Of course, look, there's like two contexts that I have to work under giving him an answer. One is to understand that I want this person to get the message, but the second is that we're running an organization that we want to be fruitful. So I need to save him as a customer. Do you understand? So to balance that is hard. So the best thing to do and to do it over the phone is even harder. So the best thing to do is, of course, to bring them in. And this is something we spoke about countless times when we were working out the structure of this event.
Yeah.
And a big thing for me was people's coming. These guys are young. These girls and guys, they are young. They are, they want to get married. Some of them have been through process of trying to get married and they never found luck. Some of them are like very early, like the first moment that I'm considering marriage, I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna go see if I can find a husband. Alhamdulillah, it happened I think twice in the organization. So
More than twice that.
yeah. So what I'm saying is like you at the same time, sales wise, I want to give them what they want. That's why I urged, we had a discussion about coming in and starting the dating immediately and having like the program where it's not one night, but we do like count a few nights, 3, 4 nights, and then we have the experience given over a structure rather than just one night at a time, because we know for a fact that it didn't go well when it's one night because not everybody gets a chance to. Sometimes people want to speak longer to
Yeah.
that person that they might be interested in, but because of time and constraint and stuff, they feel a bit hindered in that way. But again, like I'm saying, and I think that what I want to mention, what's important when I started earlier, was my message. This message is to our parents. This is what I'm interested in. That's why the selling point for me of this program is that we promise the parents of those individuals that we are looking after their best interest in a partner. So by doing what? By firstly creating a space where we don't catch on nonsense, to put it in frank terms, where it's done in a professional, respectful, modest. All of those values come first in the operation. So we that way we respect our guests, and of course respect their parents, because we from the culture we come from, Muslims and Coloureds, the Cape Malay culture here in Cape Town, and the Indian culture. It's very much about our parents. That's why we encourage mahrams to come with. So the encouragement from my side is for those parents to understand that, listen, if I have a young daughter that is interested in chatting already, maybe or yeah, a son that's ready for marriage, whether I believe it or not, or they want to get any exposure to it. My father-in-law, the late Sheikh Uthman Johnstone, he mentioned that, I'd rather be the one, as a parent, I'd rather be the one that expose that information to my child rather than that my child find it somewhere else, so that I can give it in the most healthy way over.
Absolutely.
So
Because I'm the one that now controls.
the controls the narrative. That's important. So again, back to my point is that as the Aspire team for the halal speed dating, we need to understand that our promise and the statement is, the promises are to our communities and to our parents and our guardians, that we are here to look out for the best interest and try to give, like Abdul Basit at the beginning, create an avenue where people can come and not indulge in the worst way of doing things. I think you mentioned like almost every function, every
Correct,
event.
yeah.
Then he mentions like you instead of going to those places where there isn't there's no form of parda, form of parda, the form of modesty. There's no form of it. It's just come up, chat to you, and I can say what I want. That's also very dangerous. Boys are coming up and talking how they like with no respect. You understand? So you start creating a culture where girls think it's okay for a guy to speak like that to them. That's how the progression starts also, and then make the worst choices. But as the point is, we try to create a platform where it's where those things are secure. And that is why, going back to that individual Abdul Basi spoke to, what you chatted to, the reality is, unfortunately, we won't be able to ever give you that opportunity. This organization won't be able to give you the opportunity where you can just come in and chat up. We are going to use the platform to give you a deeper insight of what marriage is about. Because as everybody that's been married, us almost 10 years, more than 10 years, we know for a fact it's not at all just about the initial attraction.
Yeah.
That
So I wanna come in there, right?
Yeah.
Just to take where you introduce this conversation of responding to an applicant of this nature. A lot of people have that idea in their mind. So if we are to have a very deep, profound understanding of the system of the Almighty, it's like if you believe, right? Ud'uni astajib lakum, right? If I ask from the Almighty, He will respond to me, right? So a lot of times, as you know, you ask, Ya Allah, make me stronger, increase me in my iman, make me a strong believer, make me thorough on my deen. And then now next week comes, and then you see, hey, why is my core breaking down?
Yeah.
And then you figure out, why is things so rough now at home? And you think, and then I'm staying a bit longer in masjid because I'm just like questioning, Ya Allah, all this is happening and I just want to breathe a little bit because of all the stress I'm going through. That brought you closer to the mosque. That kept you longer
That's the
there.
reason.
That kept you in more contemplation. That kept you in more reflection. That calamity. So it's like when you ask for something, you're given this challenge, man. And then you're needing to walk this path and go through it. So, in response, it's like, if I desire and I want something, in this case, I want to get married. If I believe that my Creator will respond to me, is it not so that there will be certain things that's going to be put in my path? Certain things are going to be put in my way.
Preach.
Right. And then, like it's like Zakir mentioned, right? What value do I bring, man?
Yeah.
Where do I associate value? It might just be that I'm so lost and I want to find myself so I had a client yesterday, right? And as I'm speaking, the client speaks about how I want to see if I still got the spark in me, man. If people will still be interested in me. If people will still take me as an option, for example. So then the person opened themselves up on a social platform, and then they discovered, no, there are people that are interested in this person. And it's like, I'm needing to validate what I bring, man. So if I want to get married, I'm not married now, maybe for 5 years or for 10 years, or I've never been married before. And I don't have that value in myself, or I'm not complete, or I'm not whole. I want to get married just to validate. What am I going to bring in that marriage?
Yeah.
If I need you to complete me, or if Islamically we know through Iman, but I mean on a psychological front, if I'm not whole in myself, and then I want to find that in you, how much pressure I'm going to put on you in that relationship, in that
Another
marriage?
discussion.
Yeah.
So if we have an understanding of when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. When my marital position or my readiness is there, will my spouse not appear?